Hi, Kaylee. I'm so glad that you were able to log in and be able to start the orientation course so that you can get to know how to work through the VLE environment. I wanted to make this quick video just to visually show you where you can and should begin. I want to first point out that I'm impersonating you, which means this is what your account looks like. When I see your course homepage after clicking on this in your course list, the first thing that I want to encourage you to do is to authorize your Google account. This will enable you to access all of the Google apps, including Google Docs, etc., and to be able to hand them into the assignment and discussion drop boxes because you'll authorize your Google Drive. So this is the first thing that I want you to do. It's already got your email address there. So when you log into Google, you can actually use this as your login. And you have to type it up exactly as you see it. So this is your first two initials, 3 numbers, and your first 2 letters of your last name at apps.hpdsb.on.ca. When you click on authorize, this is likely going to be your password, APPS for ED. So you can type that in. When you click on authorize, then you can type in that password. And then anytime you log into Google, this can be your account and your password so that you can access those Google apps. So let's get on to it. In the email that I've sent you this video in, I've stated that I don't want you to necessarily worry about activities 1 to 4. Unit 1, Activity 6 is where we're starting right now. And it's a really big writing process, and you're going to just jump right in to completing your own written piece. So here, I post the announcements as to what it is specifically that I want you to be working on. Sometimes it will be a week-long schedule, but most times what I try and do is day by day. So when you see a box like this is simply what we should accomplish for today. So I've got today's date where we're working Unit 1, Activity 6, and here is an outline of everything that you need to work on today. For this part, there's a video, but you'll see that it doesn't actually open up the video. That's because this is a picture and it's not the link. If you want to actually access that video, you can type up the URL, or you can click right down below. It'll open up a Google Doc, and that will make sure that you can access those links as well, so that you can actually interact with this and identify the information that you need. So you just click on the link. It'll open just right below. You click on that, and it will open up any videos that I've attached within the news feed. So there is a lot of information here, and that's because what we're doing is the culmination of the introductory unit where we're writing our own piece. So what I've done is I've broken down all the pieces that you need to work on and the dates that you need to be working on those particular elements. So this is just to give you a heads up that until Tuesday, this is what we're going to be working on. Down here is your daily instructions. So the first thing that I want you to do is read content, make notes. You can jot down some of these ideas as well. This one is asking us to do the interactive activities. After you've read the content and completed the interactive activities, then it's asking you to watch this to think about the idea of proofreading or critiquing someone's work and then participate in the discussion. So where do you find that information? So we know we're working in Unit 1, Activity 6. So I'm going to go to Content. I'm going to click on Content. I'm going to click on EWC4U. That will open up our content. We're going to go to Unit 1, Activity 6. It's a lot of clicking to get through to it. When we open up the content, you're actually going to have, once I click through these, because I'm impersonating you, so I'm in your account right now, there's going to be pop-ups. And we'll just give it a second. What these are is just a little information as to what this particular unit is all about. Then we have what work skills we're going to work on. And we have success criteria as to what you will be able to accomplish at the end of this particular unit. So you can just click through those. They shouldn't show up the next time you access this content because we've already gone through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start scrolling down and read through the information. One particular element that is really important is that I want you to create a notebook for yourself to record notes. This can be something on paper, it can be an ongoing Google Doc, or maybe even a Word document, depending on the computer that you have or what device you're working on. This is why we often recommend using Google. You can work in a Google Doc, you can continue to take notes, and then you can actually hand in those notes or components of those notes. So I'm going to read through here, and when I find or read it has questions, I might want to write down my reflections or my thinking within my notebook. Sometimes there will be videos, and then it asks you to write something. So when it says save your ideas to your writer's notebook, if you were to click on that, it actually doesn't go anywhere. It's asking you to either on paper or in your ongoing document to write down what you think about this after watching the video and going into these resources. That is not going to be handed in. That is simply for you to be able to formulate your own ideas. This is the formative information that helps us gain understanding of what the tasks are that we're being asked to accomplish. So we're reading through here. Sometimes when we have terms and definitions that we find important, you might also want to copy and paste that information into your writer's notebook. Take a moment to reflect in your writer's notebook. So sometimes it'll be a box down here, or sometimes it'll say up here. The other one that refers to your writer's notebook is called a metacognitive moment. And when you see that as well, that also means it wants you to reflect in your writer's notebook. So as we're going through the information, again, there may be information from the content that you want to copy down. This could also include, you can download items and create links for them. You can put those in your writer's notebook. You can do whatever you need to do. There really isn't a need to print things off, but I know for some students, they find it easier to be able to do that while they're reading through content. They can make notes on it, or they actually have a notebook that's like a binder that they make. If printing is not an option, it is not a requirement. So in the outline that we had on the course homepage, the very first page that we open up, it told us that we were going to be working, this is what we're working towards, but the first thing is doing proofreading interactive activities. And it doesn't mean you're proofreading, it means that we're completing these interactive activities. So here we've actually hit our first one, the peer editing coach. Now this one I found a little long and drawn out, but what it's asking you to do is to proofread these. And so you click on this and then you highlight the comma errors. I can see here in the very beginning, we're going to highlight this. These aren't capitalized and that's a name, so I'm going to highlight those. So you do a number of those activities. You're looking for these components, and then it'll show you compared side by side what the edits should look like. So you can go through those and go as detailed as you want. Really what's interesting is to see the side by side as to what needs to be edited. And that's the whole purpose of this activity, is to show you the value of proofreading, because you're going to be proofreading members in your group, their work, and they're going to be proofreading yours. Okay, so some more information. Here is another interactive activity. You can actually read through it, so if audio or listening to a robotic voice is a little too much for you, you can select no audio, and you can go through the activity by reading it and participating in those instructions. So this one is about not just how to proofread, but how to look for these particular things within reading. So if you read through this, you're going to have 6 items that need to be capitalized. So here's one of the first ones. So I click on it and I'm going to capitalize it. Oh, I put in an extra question mark there. There we go, and it's even shown here that that was correct. So you're going to go through and play those. Of course, it's just for practice so that when you edit someone's work that you know what you're doing. You can quit that and get out of the interactive activity. Here's the third one. You can do it audio or not, and then go through. It's really clicking through and listening to a few videos or reading the activities. Enrichment is often for your writer's notebook as well. Here is our first discussion. So when we look at what we're to accomplish, we should read and make notes. We participate in the interactive activity. In addition to that, I would like you to watch that video. Again, you can click down here. But here is the only discussion point that we need to work on today. Here's the outline as to what you need to accomplish, the resources that you need, and the discussion as to how to enter the discussion. Other ways that you can enter that discussion is that we know it's called U1A6 criteria discussion, is that we can actually look for those activities within here and access it through here too. The other thing that you can do is access it through discussions, where if you know what it's called, criteria discussion, then you can go into discussions. We know it's called criteria, and we can click on that. It will take us to the discussion. It will outline what it's asking us to do. The resources, again, to answer these can be found here in content. That's a really important part. Some students just try and complete the assignments without actually reading through the information. When you're ready to post, you simply click start a new thread, and you can start and post your own information. Okay, so that's where I'd like you to start, Kaylee. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and email me either through the email that we made touch base with before, which is my board email, or you can actually email me within this system just by clicking this button.